Ctrl F5 is all about trying to add value to a web designer's business, to a web developer's business, to an agency's business in whatever way possible, right? So I'm going to try something that I've not tried before, and you guys tell me if it's good, it's bad, whatever. If it's bad, tell me offline. If it's good, then you all can mention it now itself. All right. So anyway, whose site is it anyway? The idea is that when we're out there building websites, and forget everything that you've heard today, right? Let's just focus on one thing. Let's focus on design alone. Forget the business behind it. Forget the economics behind it. Forget how you can make money, etc. Right? Let's just focus on good design. All right. And that's what this topic tries to cover to some extent, right? That when you look at building out a website or building out a product, etc. All right, who you building it out for? And we'll come to that. So I'm not a designer or a developer, by the way. I am business head, general manager, ResellerClub, so I don't really design websites myself. I don't even have a magic answer to what's the best way of actually approaching any design issue for your customer, any design related activity for your customer, right? I don't have a magic answer for that. But what I do understand, right? What I do have is some amount of experience, right? Experience in what? Experience in running a business, all right? Just like your customers run their businesses, I have experience in running a business, which is ResellerClub and Logic Boxes. So I get the customer to some extent. I have experience in running a business for designers and developers, right? Because more than 80% of my market consists of you guys, right? So I, to some extent, because of various conversations like these, like the ones we had in the morning, like the ones I do when I go meet some of my clients, one-on-one, I tend to understand you guys as well, or I tend to understand your perspective as well. And I also have experience in managing a website and a platform, right? When you look at ResellerClub's website, when you look at the OrderBox platform, etc., I have some amount of experience in managing that, which means that I have experience in managing whether, or how can I make sure that you are buying from me, not buying from me, etc., right? So I think I get a little bit of design as well. So when I say experience, I mean that, my experience consists of several mistakes that I've made, all right, more mistakes, and then hopefully some amount of, insights, some amount of self-education that I've been able to derive from those mistakes, right? So coming back to the point, whose site is it anyway? Now, I don't know how many of you guys have read this book called The Fountainhead? Yeah, okay, you have, all right, some of you have. So you'll know who is Howard Roark, right? Howard Roark is this fictional character written in a fiction novel which was published in 1942. He's the protagonist of that novel, and he's an architect, all right? He's an architect that builds homes, that builds buildings, etc. So this guy, Howard Roark, in that book, has a conversation with one of his clients, whose name is Austin Heller, and this is how the conversation goes. Can you guys read it? Yeah? So take a minute, go through this. Focus on his last statement, right? Every piece of it is there because the house needs it and for no other reason, all right? Now answer me this. Does Roark's comment make sense even today for our business, for what we do, which is build products, build websites? Does it make sense? Absolutely, right? Now, Ayn Rand was smart enough to realize this in 1942, 1943, but I believe sometimes we struggle with it even today. I think sometimes we forget what we're trying to build, or how we should go about building it, right? Or at least I see that from time to time. So from that, I learned a few things about design as well, right? What is it that what is the purpose of UX and design? What is UX and design trying to serve today, right? When you're building a website, or you're building an application, or you're building any sort of product, what are you trying to do? You're trying to basically make sure that you are making things more intuitive, you're making things easier to use, right? So when I basically land on a website or I land on any sort of interface or I'm using any sort of product, am I going to need a manual to be able to use it, right? If I'm going to need a manual to use it, is it the most intuitive design out there? All right, does it mean that I should build it that way, or should I look at building out my site or building out my product in a way where a visitor or a customer or a user does not really need too much direction or does not really need to go through a knowledge base to basically understand that, right? The image over here, right? If you have a handle on your door, you don't know if you have to push or if you have to pull, right? A lot of times. But if you don't have that handle, you know you're supposed to push. Make sense? Easy to use. When I look at a product today, when I look at a website today, when I click on a button, do I know what's going to happen at the next step? Do I know what I'm doing, right? These are questions that we should ask ourselves when we're trying to build any sort of website or any sort of interface. Another purpose that UX and design serves is to make the product delightful, right? I couldn't think of a more delightful product personally to put over here, but that's what it also does. When I'm using something, is it a chore that I'm following in a day, or is it something that I enjoy using, that I love using, right? Very importantly, right? Another purpose of UX and design is that does it make sure that the job gets done, right? Am I out there building a lot of cool stuff, making sure that a lot of things are easy to use without any purpose, all right? What sense of direction am I giving a visitor or a user when he's landing up on my product, right? That needs to be asked as well. So what's our job responsibility, or what's our responsibility in general as designers, as UX experts, as people who are actually contributing towards helping other businesses get online, right? We got to cultivate empathy, all right? We got to understand not just the fact that you're building something for a particular customer, but when you're building something, there are users who are going to land up over there, right? Or who are going to use it. How are they landing up over there? Where are they landing up from is important to understand, right? You want to make sure that people's lives are easier, all right? And at the end of the day, you want to make a difference, right? So to me, like I said, I'm not a designer or a developer, right? I basically spent 3 years studying BMM, which is Bachelor's in Mass Marketing. I studied advertising, I studied a little bit of marketing, and then I got into Direct Eye, which was very different from what I wanted to do, right? I actually wanted to get into media planning, make a lot of money over there, but I couldn't, right? When I got into Direct Eye, the one thing that I was concerned about is that I was working on an online business and I wasn't even sure if I could, if I was interested in that, and whether I could do it. Over a period of time, I got interested in that, and over a period of time, I actually started handling the overall business and hence handling one of the key funnels of our business, right, which is our website, etc. And these things started actually mattering to me. These things, I learned over a period of time are some of the most important pillars of design, and I got really passionate about this. So today when I talk to you guys about what we should do, it actually comes from the fact that we've all done this somewhere. We've all tried to build good products. We've all tried to basically look at some of these aspects, and we all have to continue doing that, right, at the end of the day. So now can anybody tell me any sort of products, interfaces, websites that you all have actually enjoyed using in the recent past? Anybody? Just name them. Flipkart. Okay, you like using Flipkart. For this event. Okay, for Ctrl F5. Fair enough. What else? It gets the job done, right? It just tells you to register. ClearTrip. ClearTrip is brilliant as well. What else? Sorry? Trivago. Okay. Medium. Brilliant. Right? Paytm. Paytm. What are all these different sort of websites, interfaces doing, right? What are they doing? According to me, they're doing this. They're cultivating empathy, making our lives easier, right? They're making our lives easier and they're making a difference, right? By the way, interestingly, it's funny how, you mentioned Ctrl F5 and, you almost caught me over there because I have this on a slide, but nobody mentioned OrderBox. All right. So let's actually, keeping a lot of these aspects in mind, let's try and create a product over here, right? You guys have pen and paper in front of you? Okay. Now, let's take a very standard daily product, right? Let's take a watch, all right? Now, I'd like all of y'all to draw out a watch that y'all would build, all right? Keeping in mind your design aspects that we just covered, keeping in mind that it has to show time, obviously, all right? Keeping that in mind, everybody just draw out a watch on your paper and take about 5 minutes or so to do it if you need it. Maybe we can start faster as well. What's the idea of the watch? The idea is that it has to show time, right? And then obviously, what's the design? What sort of a watch are you guys building, right? All right, you're making a watch, all right, keeping all these aspects in mind. Obviously, we're going to look at trying to sell the watch that you guys have made. Now, look at your watches yourselves, right? And tell me that the watch that you've created, will a marathon runner buy it? Yes? Why would a marathon runner buy it? Okay, so you all have created a stopwatch? Yeah? Brilliant. All right. What about the rest of you? Would a marathon runner buy your watch? What does a marathon runner need in their watch? One at a time. Sorry, what were you saying, ma'am? A marathon runner needs pulse rate. Okay, brilliant. What else? Timer, stopwatch. Yeah. The watch needs digital time as well, or does it, or will a normal dial do? Digital. Okay, digital. Leather measures the temperature. Okay, how many of you all have all of this in your watch right now? You have. Wow, well done. All right, so these are some of the things that I had put down. It need digital time with seconds. It would need to be lightweight. All right, because when you're running, you don't want something that's very heavy on your hand. It should measure distance and it should have stopwatch capabilities. Fair? All right. Now, sorry, yeah. No, these are just some of the aspects, but yes, go on. How clear it is, how clear the dial is, right? The digital dial. Okay, fair enough, perfect. So you need all those aspects to basically sell this to a marathon runner, right? The watch that you've created may or may not have it. Would a scuba diver buy a watch? What are the things that a scuba diver would need? Water resistance. Was your watch water resistant? What else? Camera? In the watch? Okay. Depth, measuring depth, right? There you go. What else? Sorry? Mobile connectivity. I think some of you all should get frozen right now and wake up straight in 2050. Sorry? Bottom time. Okay. So these are some of the things that I put down. All right. Obviously, waterproof, again, digital time, backlit display, should be able to measure depth, all right, and should be able to measure water temperature, right? Do your watches do that at this point in time? Now, would a celebrity buy your watch? Correct. You need a diamond-studded watch for a celebrity to buy, yeah? Message alert. Okay, message alert. I would say that a celebrity also wouldn't buy it because A, it needs to be really exclusive. आपने बना लिया तो क्या बात है? LV का watch है क्या? नहीं ना. ठीक है? It needs to be really expensive for a celebrity to buy it. There need to be color options, diamond studded. And does it even need to give the time? I'm not sure. I don't know. Celebrity checks it out that way, right? But this is what a celebrity would need to buy a watch. So when you basically look at it, you had a great idea that you wanted to build a watch or design a watch that basically displayed time, right? But is that enough for you to be able to build a successful product? Is it? No, it isn't. There you go. There you go. So understand the user and the context of his use, right? You've got to make sure that when you're building out something, you're building it out for a customer. right? But that customer is trying to serve X amount of visitors on his website, right? Who are those visitors? How are they getting there? What are they doing to get there? What is the purpose that that business or that website needs to achieve for it to be successful, right? So what could context be? Context could be, why is he on that website? And by he, I mean that visitor. Why is that visitor on the website or any sort of screen? What does he need over there, right? Where has he come from, all right? Is he on the mobile or is he on his desktop? And is he a power user or a beginner? These are just some aspects that you need to consider when you're sort of building out any sort of website. Now sometimes even when you actually build out really good websites, and I think Felix also covered this. Did Felix cover how cool a concept the Engage was? Okay, so there you go, right? Nokia spent millions of dollars in investing in a phone which basically was a gaming phone. Why? Because they said that we have a lot of people who use our phones who basically play video games, and I want to serve that to them, right? And what Nokia forgot is that while they were building this out, all right, they didn't think of how somebody would talk on that phone, because it's a phone at the end of the day, right? So sometimes you can get it horribly wrong even when you're looking at your users and what context of use are you trying to follow, right? You can get it horribly wrong. It's not easy. So whose site is it anyway? According to me, the site is the visitors, right? It is not the customers, it is not your site, right? When you made that watch probably thinking about you. Is that fair? How many of you all made the watch thinking about yourself, right? That's what tends to happen. That's what tends to happen when we're building something out. We're thinking of ourselves. But the point is that when we want to deliver good design, when we want to deliver good UX capabilities, we're not supposed to think of ourselves. We're supposed to think of that visitor. We're supposed to empathize with him, right? We're supposed to understand what he would do or how he would do it, right? We're supposed to make his life easier, right? And that's the idea that I wanted to sort of cover over here, right? You've seen a lot of stuff back in the first session, then in Felix's, then in Suvi's, but there's just one simple concept that I believe we so often ignore when we look at building out good websites and hence building out good businesses for ourselves, right? But it's not always easy to figure the user. I already told you that. You can get it horribly wrong. But you did it yourself as well, right? You tried to figure out the user when I asked you if a marathon runner would buy. You all came up with reasons why or things that the marathon runner would need when you were designing your watch, right? You did that with your scuba diver as well. You did that with a celebrity as well, right? Often enough, you'll realize you need to do a little more than this, by the way. Here we only did some basic analysis of what sort of usage would these sort of people have, right? But when you're looking at basically building out websites or mobile applications or any sort of product for any sort of customer, you need to make sure that you sit down with that customer and probably understand that customer's business, his visitors, etc., and do some amount of segmentation over there. We have a lot of personas that we've built over a period of time, right? Personas are literally, typical behaviors or behavioral patterns that we see in people, and we've actually given them names, right? So there is a Rajesh, there is a Suresh, there is probably a Brian, there is a Mitchell, and so on and so forth, right? And every one of these guys is a different persona that we consider, that we think of when we're putting something in OrderBox, right? Every single one of them has a certain pattern or a certain behavioral pattern that we follow. Now, when you're building out websites for your customers, for their visitors, you might not be able to do a very elaborate exercise every time. We're a products company, so we have the luxury of doing it one time and then reusing it, right? But some amount of basic segmentation still becomes very, very important when you're looking at designing. Make sense? Yeah? Right, so I've covered most of the stuff that I really wanted to cover from a design perspective. Like I said, it was going to be a very simple one-point driven presentation that I wanted to make. I just wanted to leave you all with this one point. There are a couple of other slides that I also would very quickly want to cover, and maybe if you all have the patience and the time, maybe we can do a case as well, slightly later on. But Think about the domain that your customer uses as well, and shouldn't that have context as well, right? So we've spoken about designing with context. What about the domain registrations, right? And here comes my partner. My partner, radix.online, for this event, which basically offers domain names that may be shorter, that may be more relevant, that may be easier to recall, right? And there are several new TLD providers out there who are doing this, right? Who are actually looking at providing more meaningful names to businesses. So if you look at the top new GTLDs, by the way, do you guys understand the term new GTLDs? By now you all should be familiar with it, right? Perfect. So if you look at the top new GTLDs in India, these are statistics, right? So I think this is as of March 2016. Number one is XYZ, all right? XYZ is actually fairly generic as well, but you might get a more relevant string on an XYZ, all right? Then you have .website, which again belongs to Radix, which is our primary partner and also owns .online, all right, which is 5th on this list, right? You have these as your top new TLDs in the country. Now, when you total all this up, you're probably doing about 100,000 to 200,000 odd new GTLD registrations as a country, all right, as a people today, all right, or you have done. Across the world, there are more than 15 million new GTLDs that have been registered as of now. So think about the pie and where it stands, right? No doubt that a lot of those domains have been registered by domain investors, right? But today the market's picking up and it's looking at more relevant names, right? So maybe another thing that you want to do is start offering these sort of names to your customers as well, right? There you go. This is your growth in new TLD ads in India. These are some websites that have been made on these new TLDs. Now, I'm going to finish the rest of the presentation, and then if we have time, we'll come to this exercise. Or actually, do you guys mind spending maybe about 10 or 15 minutes in a very interesting exercise based on design and based on everything that we've just covered? You guys are up for it? Anybody tired? Except for me? No? Okay. All right. So now, let's say you guys are an agency which basically focuses on all marketing services, including website design, etc., right? Now, let's say your client's ResellerClub. All right. ResellerClub has a target audience which is web designers and developers, right? This is the market that we want to focus on. This is the market where we want to add value. Okay? We want to try and sell our hosting and our value-added services. What I'd like you guys to do is take 10 minutes by yourselves, all right, or rather within the tables, and discuss exactly what is ResellerClub's customer segmentation. All right? Discuss what is ResellerClub's customer segmentation, and if you were to redesign ResellerClub's homepage, what are the aspects you would have in it? You could draw it out, or you could just say that, hey, look, I'd focus on X, Y, or Z, all right, and just mention that out, right? So take about 10 or 15 minutes, try and discuss this within yourselves, and then give ResellerClub an answer on ResellerClub. How about that? Does this make sense? Yeah? Yeah? Cool. So go ahead. Describe the customer for me, describe the web designer and developer for me, and then give me a homepage redesign. There's no right or wrong answer to this, right? It's just about how you guys look at it. And it's just about helping y'all exercise this thought process more than anything else. So while some of you guys are still preparing this, in the interest of time, I'm going to start asking people to just talk about what they've done, right? Yes, and this is not up for debate or anything like that. It's just to help you guys exercise this particular thought process and try to do things this way, right? So yes.
Yeah. So,
here, could you introduce yourself first, please?
Hi, my name is Raza, and I'm from NetNova's Web Solutions, New Friends Colony, Delhi.
All right, thank you.
And so I have segmented visitors into 4 segments. One is the development companies who are focusing on e-commerce websites. And segment 2 is for SEO and SMM professionals who take services from ResellerClub. And third is basically domain and hosting and email resellers.
Okay.
which only sell these services,
Okay.
which are focusing. And segment 4 is for content generators,
For-
basically video content generators,
Okay.
and which have huge, heavy content with
Okay.
them. So for first segment, my suggestion is that the page should display banners, advertisements, and plans for dedicated and managed servers. Because e-commerce, they need huge bandwidth as well as the speed. It does matter for the pages, and database connectivity should be better. So they will go for a product which is foolproof.
Okay.
And there's SSL also, which we can offer on that landing page. So we are talking about landing pages.
Yeah.
If
You're
I'm
talking
on-
about landing
yeah.
pages. You're not talking about the home page per se.
Yeah, we are talking about separate landing pages.
Okay. Okay.
And for second segment, that represent SEO community. So the plans and the content on that page would promote whitelisted servers. I mean the clean servers without any blacklisting and dedicated IPs, and they are fast and they are better for SEO activities.
Okay.
So, and for third segment, that is domain and email resellers, we should display cheap domains and huge discounts on hosting for annual payment or maybe for quarterly or.
And
biweekly.
sell.com at 99.
Yeah, that is good. And last segment is video content segment. From that, those visitors, we can show unmetered bandwidth with the processors. I mean, basically the dedicated servers and VPNs, VPS.
Cool.
That is.
Perfect, right? Thank you so much for contributing. Thanks a lot. Let's look at another team. Yeah, sure. The gentleman over here.
So the segment which I understand, that is the completely different way.
Sure.
When
Sir, can you
see-
hold it a little closer?
yes. Am I audible?
Ah.
So what I understand, like there might be different kind of people come to your website
Uh-huh.
or any website because as a seller you need to sell each and every product whatever you are having, right, in the business prospect. So let's say when students might be come over there who is taking the training or who is interested in know like how the things works. The second might be the digital companies. I mean the website development company or the designing company. They might come
Okay.
as a reseller. The third is of course like like product development company or the end customers.
Uh-huh.
Fourth one is might be any type of organization or the freelancers also. So how we can categorize it means we just put the three segments over there. Like one is the student, second one is the company, and third one is the digital organization, you may say. So select anyone. Accordingly, the page will come to you.
Okay.
Like if you are the student, you might don't like to go for the SEO or go for the for what is the what we say value added services. Might be he is just interested into the hosting things.
Okay.
Okay, that is the pretty common things for the student purpose. In the
Okay.
same manner, if you are a company, normal company, definitely you are interested into each and every product like hosting.
Right.
You might be interested in the SSL. You might be interested into the dedicated server because you are a company, so you need to sell each and every product to them. So accordingly, page will change. If you selected as an reseller, that means the digital company. So the scenario will be completely changed, and the new things will come like whatever products we are having. I mean specifically in terms of the reseller thing, then it will show accordingly,
Okay.
and it will promote those products which you can resell to your valued customers.
Got it. Okay. Fair enough. Thank you. Thanks again, sir. So did you introduce yourself in the beginning? So, Gaurav.
Gaurav
Thank
Mishra, and I recently started my startup, Uni IT Solutions.
Okay, best of luck with that, sir, and thanks. Thanks. Okay, who wants to go next? I'm not going to ask anybody. You guys volunteer. Yeah, oi, over here. Here also? Acha. Okay, there is a little bit of conflict. Let's do one at a time.
Yeah, let him go.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, I'm Rahul Parthi. I run a company called RPXL Solutions, which is into web development and digital marketing. As ResellerClub provides domain and hosting, we have segregated the customer into 3-4 segments. One is reseller, which is interested in reselling the domain and hosting. Another one is a blogger who are mostly on WordPress and they want easy installation of WordPress and other things to happen. So one can be a blogger, another can be a developer who is interested in CMS platforms like Joomla and Drupal. And one can be an end customer as well who is interested, who is a business owner interested in booking a domain for himself.
Okay.
So I think that's the 4 customer segments we can target.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Anything that you would do with the homepage to basically change that, or?
See, basically, I'm a reseller already for more than, I guess, 12, 13 years now. So I hardly go on to ResellerClub homepage. I straight away log in into the stuff and do my work and log out. So I just open the site on my mobile. It's not at all mobile friendly.
Exactly.
So if you talk of customer experience, it has to be mobile friendly.
Okay.
The words are jumbling up on the website right now,
which
needs a lot of improvement. And there are a lot of things which are not required right now on ResellerClub homepage, which I just saw, which is hampering the user experience in terms of it is taking more time on downloading. I can see there is direct eye building, which is there. I mean, it's good to show, but not.
You're on some older version of the site then, direct eye building is. But no, I 100% agree with everything that you're saying. Those are issues that we know and we're correcting right now because we've launched a new site, but completely agree with you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, yes, so we need the gentleman over here to go first. I know you guys actually finished first, I should have come there. Sorry, next.
Well, we have divided homepage in 2 portions. One is in blue, one is in green. In blue, it's written startup. In green, it's written seasoned. The people who have already been working with reseller. So if there is startup, so it will be displaying more arrows showing that you have to do this, you have to do this. Now for a seasoned one, it will be a bit annoying that every time those arrows are coming up. So it can be designed up like that.
So it's power user versus beginner type of a model. Fair enough.
That's why the color combination is different. Startup it's blue.
Right.
And for seasoned it's green. They know.
Seasoned paisa green.
हाँ भाई उनको पता पुराना है ना.
सही है. एकदम. Thank you, sir. Sir, you didn't introduce yourself, sorry.
I'm R.S. Sani from T3 Consultancies Private Limited.
Thank you, sir. Thanks again.
Hi, my name is Hemant and from Dinsol, India. And as far as the reseller club concerned, with the segment of customers, we have converted into 2 particularly. That is, one is existing. They should get support option because that's the main concern which has been discussed over
partners.
here. So there should be live chat support should be there available right from there, and then there should be phone options clearly displayed. Then the second segment should be potential customer, because we know our audience, that is the website designer and developers. So the potential customer, we should have all the hosting product like shared, reseller, then there should be virtual and crowd servers, then dedicated server, email hosting. Apart from that, we can have site guard and this code guard and the site lock.
Got it, got it. Fair enough. Thank you.
Okay, can I start with?
Yes, please.
Okay, in this exercise, okay, first of all, my name is Sumit and I am from ePromoters.
Thank you.
Here you are hiring me as an agency to get more and more, you want more and more money from me. So the best solution is keep the thing as it is, what you are running. I'll suggest you to have another site with another domain name and get another separate business out of that.
Okay, okay. Thanks. Believe me, I've thought about that many times as well. Do you guys like doing this? Was it, did you all realize that when you're trying to sort of design something with some amount of context, all right, your thought process can be so much different and can be so much more effective. All right, there's no right or wrong to this, right? Ultimately, I really don't know if, practice X or practice Y is going to work for the web designer development community, right? But the fact is that we're still thinking, okay, how do we make their life simple? How do we try and help them in whatever way possible, right? That's why Ctrl F5 also comes from, right? And that's why I didn't want to try and sell over here, right? Because we just want to add value. So finally and very, very quickly, this is the last piece. It should take about a minute or two. Reseller Club loves web designers and developers. Of course, you all are our target audience. All right. Some of the things that we're going to do, again, to add some amount of value to the businesses that you guys run, is when you think of fonts, themes, stock images, icons, etc., you all are probably currently holding accounts with different types of providers for each one of these, right? We're actually going to try and partner with a lot of different providers over here and offer all of the same products, either from Shutterstock or Icon Finder or any of these guys, at cheaper rates within our platform very shortly as well. We're working on partnerships, again, to try and add some amount of value to your businesses, right? Some of the other initiatives that we're looking at, we're actually looking at tying up with training institutions, that's design and development training institutions. We're coming up with a designer and developer-based jobs and projects portal, which I spoke about. Site Wars, which I'll come to towards the end, and a web designer and developer focused marketing agency where we essentially look at marketing and investing in marketing on behalf of web designers and developers to try and get them more leads. We already have this program kicked off. We basically close about 50 to 100 different leads, SMBs every day for different designers all across India, right? So we're doing a lot of these activities to try and push this community forward and try and help them get more business, right? Site Wars, you can access it on www.resellerclub.com/sitewars. WDD stands for Web Designers and Developers. The idea behind Site Wars is simple. We want to try and reward some of the best websites that are created by our clients, right? So the winner of Site Wars actually receives a $5,000 cash prize up front, right? And then subsequently it's $3,000 for second place and $2,000 for the third place. Almost like a tongue twister. Anyway, so the idea over here is you're going to be competing with web designers and developers globally, all right? A lot of people have started sort of submitting their sites. So I urge all of you, if you've built a good site for a customer, do go here and submit it. Who knows, you could win a lot of money. This is a quarterly event, so every quarter we're actually planning to run Site Wars, and get different sites registered and look at sort of giving out these cash prizes, right? So please participate. Please help Site Wars grow just how you all have by coming here for Ctrl F5, all right? And I hope to see you guys again and again sometime in the future, either by coming and meeting you all one-on-one or through other events like these, right? Thank you so much. You guys have been a fantastic audience.